Hi, everyone. I'm proud to be here and represent Evercity. But before I start, let me just introduce myself to better understand what we're doing. My name is Alexei, and I had a pretty good education. I come from Russia, and which is a petro state, you know. And I started my professional career more than 10 years ago in a oil commodities trading company in Geneva. And, you know, it was fun, like fancy clubs, fancy cars, like the golden age of crypto in 2017. Everyone was so excited about oil and high oil prices. But you know what? Then I realized that people who are in this space and they're coming into their 30s, they kind of lose meaning of their life. They lose their light in their eyes, and they start to think, what am I doing? What's the mission of what am I doing? And that was like a turning point for me because I realized that there is some more than hydrocarbons and selling them, and there are special market forces, market mechanisms, and assets, like green assets, that are here to help us combat with climate change and other important global issues. So then I started to deep dive into that, and I realized that there is actually very important things going on, and nobody pays sufficient attention to that problems. And that's why I quit my job at commodities trading, and I started the Russian Carbon Fund, which since then became a leading sustainability consultancy and green finance company in Russia, member of 4 international organizations with the UN, with World Bank, and with G20. But since then, you know, the situation with environmental crisis and social crisis, it became even worse. And the latest IPCC UN report that was released this month states that we have only 12 years to cope with the climate change and prevent the global warming up to 1.5 degrees. So we need to act. And in recent years, during my job at the Russian Carbon Fund, I realized that there are a lot of bright guys, talented people that are actually driving this Industry 4.0 revolution. And these are not like some mythical people. They're just around us. They are our partners, our friends, our schoolmates, and university pals. So these are the people actually doing the change we need, and we should cope on technology to combat global issues and reach sustainable development goals. So that's how Evercity was funded, and I want to show you a short video explaining Evercity concept and mission. Please.
By 2030, 60% of the world population will live in cities. Rapid urbanization leads to air and water pollution, accumulation of waste, and social inequality. Evercity is the key to solving global challenges. Cutting-edge technologies based on blockchain, Internet of Things, and artificial intelligence developed by a new generation of innovators. Evercity ecosystem includes an accelerator and a venture fund. We chose the best tech projects and help them raise investment by means of security token issuance. Best projects are deployed in the rapidly growing network of our partner smart cities. Join us now to build smart, sustainable cities of the future based on the UN standards.
Okay, thank you. So this is our concept and our vision of the future. And we really see that those genius people like Vitalik Buterin, like others, they actually are good engineers, but they really lack business skills, and they really lack the marketing skills and investor relations skills. So having access to these people and talking to them, we understand their problems. And their problem is building a business and raising investment. So that's why we came up with an idea to launch a security token accelerator for these projects. And we want to accelerate the investment flows into the most talented people and impactful technologies by enabling their raising investment in the form of digital tokens. We focus on the smart and sustainable city market, technologies like blockchain, AI, and biotech and clean tech, of course. And we analyze the problems that current fundraising methods have. And we clearly see that STO, issuing security tokens, is really solving these problems, democratizing venture market, making digital IPO more accessible, and helping to actually find more investors that can invest in breakthrough technologies. So what we are doing now is an end-to-end platform for issuance of equity and debt for smart and sustainable city startups with a special accent, special focus on investors' rights protection. And here are the features that we actually see in our solution. Our solution is like the second wave solution, and we learned a lot from the first wave of security token issuance platforms. We talked a lot with investors, and we received their feedback on what do they need to make sure that their investments are safe, and what do they need to actually make sure that the projects are real. And that's what we found out. So first of all, we're caring for investors, and we have a multi-layer investors protection system. Parts of its system consists of DA ICO module, and I will explain a little bit further. Of course, all issuances are compliant with securities laws of the jurisdiction where investor comes from. We do the security smart contract audit and some other security features that I cannot reveal now. Unlike the US STO industry, we're focusing more on Asia and Asia Pacific markets. We clearly see a great demand from these countries because there are lots of crypto and people want to invest in something that is from real life. I mean, real life assets, like not another utility token, but something they can own and something they can control. So we're there in Asia. We're developing our investor relations group, communication directly with VCs and private accredited investors. So the other important thing is hedging currency risks. You know, lots of ICOs that raised money in 2017, they lost almost all their money if they did not cope with the currency risks. It's like a financial term, but surprisingly, from the ICO industry, quite a few people knew what hedging currency risks actually is. And that's why they lost a lot of raised funds. We're making sure the investors' money that are put into the platform are secured by the concept of the stable coin, which is tied up to US dollars. So as I said before, we are focusing on the venture industry. We're not focusing on real estate. We're not focusing on some other stuff. We know what venture industry is. We know the projects. We know investors. We communicate with all of them. And that's why we're focusing on issuing debt, convertible notes, and various forms of equity in the form of digital ERC20 tokens. And the last but not the least thing is the SDG and ECG criteria that are being implemented into our platform and the reporting module. Another problem of the ICO market is that companies are raising money, but they're not reporting. And you don't know how are they performing and what's going on there. But we want to actually solve this issue. So we made a lot of research during this 9 months that we've been developing the platform and the concept. We've looked through a lot of projects, a lot of protocols, a lot of standards, thanks to our very experienced team. So we made our research, and we clearly see that existing platforms are just letting you to issue security tokens. But what's next? What about reporting? What about investors' protection? What if the project has failed to fulfill its roadmap? We are trying to take care of that issues. So the investment process is just simple. It's crystal clear. We want all our investors, of course, to undergo the KYC, ML, sanctions, terrorists, checks, and whatever. We accept only accredited investors. And investors see only those projects that they are applicable to invest, because various projects could look for various jurisdictions and investors. So raising investment is also simple, and the project that wants to raise investment has a very good flexible and programmable tokenization options. And the most important thing is that our solution is accessible for the early startups and small and medium enterprises. We are going to focus also on the real live businesses and provide them an opportunity to attract crypto and fiat investment using our platform. So they keep the control over the company, they have more liquidity, and they are more flexible to raise investment. The DA ICO process. A lot of talks has been recently regarding the DA ICO. Nobody really implemented that so far, but I can tell you that DA ICO is just a real, the usual, business as usual VC process. Because the smartest VCs, they just don't give you all the money at once. And each money part is tied up to your roadmap. So that's what we are implementing in our platform. So projects that are going to raise money, they will have an option to use DA ICO or not to use DA ICO. But those who use DA ICO, they're more transparent, and we really think that investors are more likely to invest in those companies that are implying DA ICO protocol. So now our developers are designing the protocol itself, and the set of smart contracts will include various conditions on the DA ICO. But the initial information, initial criteria for the funds distribution will be on the startup side. So that's how we also defend the interest of startups. So they can choose how the voting will go and what's the percentage of investors' vote needed to go to a next level or to make another voting for a new roadmap in case of failure on some step. So talking again about investors' rights protection, here are all the features that we've designed to protect investors' rights. And as I said, it's a stable coin, it's a security audit. It's another important thing is that due diligence. Our team is actually comprised of financial, VC, legal, and blockchain and other tech professionals. They are visible, they are transparent, they can be reached through LinkedIn, Facebook, no fake advisors or team members in our team. And we are introducing the VC-grade due diligence process to select the startups that will raise through issuance of their security tokens. It's not like the real VC-grade due diligence, it's a little bit softer. But we really need to check financial figures, we need to check the business model, we need to check the marketing side, and we're not happy with the white papers, where you can find only the, I don't know, marketing stuff, and that's it. So we're doing the deeper checks. That's the business model of our platform. There is 2 tracks. The tokenization is a service, and it's a simplified process of issuing your equity or debt in the form of security tokens, or the actual acceleration program where we invest up to 100K in kind or in cash, and we take a bigger percentage of raised funds, but we make sure and we do all the best to help the project structure itself and find investors. So here is our roadmap, and what you need to know is that in December we're launching the MVP that you could test, and the actual platform will be launched in spring. But we are already working on the first STO, and this will be a very interesting A-round smart city solution that is being now implemented in Dubai, Russia, and across the globe. So you'll hear more about that soon. This is our team. We have people from Parity and Polkadot, hardcore Ethereum community. We have people from finance, people from the World Bank working on green assets, and that's what we are doing. We're really trying to establish the smart, sustainable city ecosystem that can help us reach sustainable development goals. And we invite you and your projects to join us and to make a world a better place. Thank you.